Okay, before I say goodnight, I wanted to do one last video. And this one should be relatively short. I like to typically, if I do one at night and I'm ending at night, I like to keep it short. And this is so the subject is basically, or the subject matter is about living in the present. All right. Now, some people they live in the past, which is fine. But I mean, well, this is gonna be my take anyway, so it doesn't really matter what anyone else is doing. When we talk about living in the present, as far as I'm concerned, or what I think, I mean, the thing is that our lives, as like anyone's life on this planet, even animals, right? We typically experiences matter. Definitely, history matters. You learn from it and and whatnot. But the most important time stage is the present for any animal, for any person. Now, what I was gonna say is that any being on this planet typically has a state, what I call a state of recycling. Okay, so recycling can be like, let's say you have, well, okay, literally use the word cycle. Okay, so use time segments as cycles. So I'm not talking about 1 hour cycles. I'm talking like 1 month cycles. But usually it's longer than that. Typically we have what I believe we have seasonal cycles. Now we have 12 months and 4 seasons, meaning that if we had 4 cycles in the year, each one will last 3 months. And that's fair to say because whatever activities that you do in the winter is different from what you do in the summer, and the same with fall and spring, right? 4 seasons. We have 4 seasons. So every 3 months, I would say is typically a cycle. Now, what does that mean? Well, in that cycle, you have some kind of something lined up, right? And I'm gonna remind you, fewer than most people actually have a set cycle or something that they've been doing continuously always. You'll find that a champion snowboarder first started snowboarding literally when he was old enough to walk. He was 2 or 3 years old and he was snowboarding. And that's all he's done. And then no wonder he's number one. And that's great. That will get you respect and everything, and you can achieve, you can make money and all that. You can have accolades when you do that, when you achieve that. And it is great. For most people, it's not. Most people don't want to do that. Most people want to do different things. But no, I'm not knocking. I shouldn't knock it at all. For me, because when I think about my past, it's all like a big shadow. Just full of shadow after shadow after shadow. It's like I was just shadowing. There were times I literally, it's not where I learned the term, but one day I decided I wanted to shadow maintenance guys at a hotel. And I asked them, can I shadow them for the day? And they said, it's no problem because for whatever reason. But I shadowed them for the whole day to see where they go and what they do and all that stuff. So I literally shadowed somebody. Okay. but I think that's great because even like, let's say you were in like I'm thinking like snowboarding, for example. Before you were even known, let's say by the time you were 13, you were always snowboarding with, let's say the guy snowboards with a father or an uncle or something all the time, right? He's spending time with that person. Now he may have other social activities, but that's most of his time going into that. When he retires, let's say at 30, he's the greatest snowboarder ever, and he decides to retire, he's gonna find that he's got to do these cycles. You know what I mean? In the business world, we have cycles all the time. We don't live in the past or the future. We always have cycles in the business world, right? Now, can you transfer that success over? Yes, he can, but it's not easy, and it has been done, by the way. It has been done. There's been some very well-to-do people in their fields who quit or retired at an early age and became successful at doing any kind of business. And I've seen that. I've seen examples of it at any level. It does happen. It does happen, and they can be very successful. People might think this is a one-trick pony. He's never gonna be able to do anything different. and then they show it and they become very successful in real legitimate businesses, whatever they choose to do, whatever they enjoy. So I've seen that. Now, so I got to go back to the cycle. So let's say you do 3-month cycles, right? In the business world, everything in our world is being updated so fast, along with technology. I mean, they have a new smartphone every 3 months. They got the next amazing smartphone, the laptop, the technology, the washroom technology, speaker technology, everything that you can imagine in your house. You have all the different technologies. You know what I mean? I remember in the 90s or whatever, they came out with when you turn on the lights by clapping. And it was so cool. I mean, you just clap. You don't have to turn a switch. You clap and the light turns on. You clap and the light turns off. And I think that's cool. There's a lot of new gadgets in the kitchen. They have air fryers now. You know what I mean? When I was out, I never saw an air fryer. So I mean, they have air fryers now, which is really cool. Everywhere. I mean, the washrooms have toilets that you just wave a sensor and they automatically open. They got everything. Anyways, the point is that the business world is so focused on the present and it's updating and constantly changing so fast. These guys have meetings every week. They got to do a meeting every week where they're being updated constantly, right? So in the business world, the most important thing is your present time. Now, if you cycle it, right? The reason I use the word recycle is brilliant because recycling means that doesn't necessarily mean that you throw everything out and start new. You may recycle is perfect, because you have the choice to literally recycle. You may throw some stuff in the garbage and you may recycle, let's say, most of the stuff, right? Or half the stuff you throw away, half the stuff you recycle. Now, in my opinion, if you have relationships with people in your life or you have people in your life or some kind of work in your life or business or hobby, no matter what it is in your life, some of it you may throw away, right? And some of it you may recycle. Recycling means like, the business world has to go on. It has to go to the next cycle. So even if you're going for 3 months to, I don't know, to Peru, for example, okay? If you're going for the next 3 months to Peru, you will have a certain kind of life, right? And anyway, I'm not gonna get it. It's gonna take me forever if I get into the whole dynamics of the whole recycling thing. But that's the present. It's every three, I would say every seasonally. That's a life cycle. It's a 3-month period. A lot happens in 3 months. When I look at all that happened in so far this winter, I mean, it's crazy. All the stuff that's happened. So yeah, I wanted to talk about the president, and you know what? Sometimes it's almost disrespectful to shout people out. You don't want to shout people. Oh, I know this guy, I know that guy, I know that guy, I know this person, that. Oh, we did this. Shouting people out is not always the most respectful thing to do. And I really believe that this is like my last words of childhood. Like, this is me leaving childhood into adulthood, literally, with this saying. With this saying that if you respect people enough, you don't need to shout them out. You know what I mean? And if you respect them, it's not, you shouldn't be shouting out. I'm not a rapper, and I'm doing these videos as a kind of self-productive thing and to put on kind of productive stuff, content on YouTube. And I'm only doing it for a cycle. I'm probably looking at doing this for 3 months. If that, if even a month. So I'm going to conclude this and wrap this up by saying the present is totally very important. Lives change, things change, and you have to stay updated. You could be Michael Jordan, and if you start falling off, like you could be like, literally, you could be Michael Jordan, and if you start falling off, nobody's gonna give a shit. If you're as great as Jordan, yeah, sure. A rookie might fall off in one game. Jordan might take a month to fall off. But if you're falling off and you're stuck in your like if he was stuck at that dunk he did from the free throw line, he's not really looking good moving forward because the next guy's gonna come up and take his spot. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up by saying good night. This lasts a little longer than I thought, but again, good night.